The atmosphere in the presidential office was heavy, almost suffocating. The usually bustling corridors outside seemed to have disappeared entirely, leaving only the two of them in a world charged with unspoken threats. Mokonyane's heels clicked sharply against the polished floor as she entered, a deliberate act of defiance. She had a message to deliver, one she knew would rattle even the most seasoned politicians, and she refused to show hesitation. Ramaphosa, seated behind the grand mahogany desk, looked up slowly. His expression was calm, composed almost to the point of being unnerving, but his eyes burned with a quiet intensity that betrayed the steel beneath the surface. Nomvula, he began, his voice deceptively soft, yet carrying the weight of authority. I am surprised to see you here, at my door, demanding answers to things you don't fully understand. Or perhaps you do. Perhaps you know exactly how far you are stepping into dangerous territory. Mokonyane straightened, meeting his gaze without flinching. I know enough to see what others refuse to see, Cyril. I know enough to speak up. And if staying silent is cowardice, I will not be a coward. A slow, almost imperceptible smile curved on Ramaphosa's lips, but it didn't reach his eyes. He rose, moving with deliberate calm, his presence filling the room. Every step was measured, every movement a subtle display of power. You are brave, yes, he said, perhaps more than is wise. But bravery is not always a virtue. Sometimes it is a danger. Mokonyane's heart thudded in her chest, but she refused to show fear. Danger? Or a warning meant to intimidate me into silence? He stopped just a few feet away, close enough that the air between them seemed to vibrate with tension. Call it what you will, he said, voice low, controlled, dangerous. Call it advice. Call it a favor. But understand this, there are forces at play here that you cannot see, powers that move silently, and people who do not forgive mistakes. You are walking a line that, once crossed, may not allow you to step back. Mokonyane swallowed hard, but her voice remained steady. I have crossed lines before. I have stared danger in the face before. I am not afraid. Ramaphosa's eyes narrowed slightly, and he leaned closer, his presence commanding and suffocating at the same time. You should be afraid, he said quietly. Not of me, but of what comes when you poke into matters that are far larger than yourself. You will not like the consequences, Nomvula. If you continue down this path, you will regret it. You will be sorry, not because I wish harm upon you, but because the storm you are summoning is not one that is gentle, and it will not spare you. Mokonyane took a step closer, unwilling to retreat. And what of truth, Cyril? Should truth always be hidden? Should fear dictate silence while corruption festers behind closed doors? He remained calm, but a sharp edge crept into his voice. Truth is not always for everyone. Some truths are dangerous, explosive, and deadly. And some people are not equipped to survive the consequences of wielding it carelessly. For a moment, silence fell. The weight of unspoken threats filled every corner of the room. Mokonyane could feel the power in the room pressing down on her, an invisible force that could crush even the most determined spirit. Yet, she refused to yield. You speak of storms, she said, her voice steady despite the tension. But you are the one hiding behind clouds of influence and authority. I do not fear storms, Cyril. I fear complacency. I fear betrayal. I fear letting the truth die in silence. Ramaphosa's jaw tightened. He stepped back slightly, as if to measure her resolve. Then choose carefully, he said, his voice icy now, every word deliberate, a blade cutting through the tension. There is still time to walk away. There is still time to protect yourself. Once you cross this line, there is no turning back. And if you do not heed my warning, you will be sorry for yourself. I promise you that. Mokonyane held his gaze,